This presentation of the Oklahoma Classics is brought to you by the Thoroughbred Racing Association of Oklahoma, by RPDC, by Oklahoma Thoroughbred Association, and by SureBetRacingNews.com, the #1 source for racing news for Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico. We are live at Remington Park on Oklahoma Classics Night, benefiting Oklahoma breds who've been eligible for the program, and we're joined by the president of the Oklahoma Thoroughbred Association, Dan Case. Dan, as always, welcome. Tell us about some of the benefits to owning and racing Oklahoma breds. First off, for the horses that might, the horsemen that might have stallions or that might be involved in breeding.
Of course, the Oklahoma bred program is paying back about $2.5 million a year now to the Oklahoma bred breeders, the stallion owners and the mare owners and the owners of the racehorses.
Certainly is nice here to have nearly $500,000 in purses up just on this night of racing alone for Oklahoma breds.
Yes, it is, and we hope next year maybe it'll even be more. We know racing is on the upswing in Oklahoma, and we think next year the purses may even be bigger.
So really, over the course of this series of Oklahoma Classics races, started in '93, kind of a different era, not kind of, definitely a different era, and now all of a sudden with the track sale here, it continues, it looks like, to be a positive move forward.
Yes, it does. It looks like the thoroughbred industry in Oklahoma is on the upswing, and we expect racing to get even better.
Well, Dan Case, president of the OTA, as always, thanks, and certainly the weather has come up good, and it's good to see a nice live crowd here as well.
A great crowd, the weather's great, and we have great racing tonight, and we're looking forward to the rest of them.
Certainly is a lot of good racing left coming up here at the meet. Thanks so much for joining us. And one topic of conversation that you hear about a lot these days is the plight of horses once they are through racing. And coming up now is an interesting story on an opportunity to find retirement homes for Oklahoma breds.
Founded by a group of veteran Oklahoma horsemen, the nonprofit organization Oklahoma Thoroughbred Retirement Program is dedicated to providing bright futures for the state's ex-racehorses. Some of those, like that Tat, are for various reasons unadoptable and will remain in the OTRP's care at one of their satellite facilities. But another large part of the group's work is adopting out former racehorses to new owners ready to provide good homes. One of the OTRP's permanent retirees is the Niner account, who had an incredible record of 18 wins from 33 starts, while finishing in the money 90% of the time. The Niner account earned more than $325,000. The early part of retirement isn't always an easy process for thoroughbreds. It was no different for the Niner account.
He had a lot of adjustments. The factor that, he came directly off the track, and generally that means they're going to lose a lot of weight. Then they will regain and stabilize, and he went through all of that.
The biggest star under OTRP's care is multiple graded stakes winner That Tat. While earning $600,000 plus, That Tat ran at Lone Star, Louisiana Downs, Oaklawn, and Remington Park. After leaving the track, That Tat required some special attention, which sent caretaker Gail England on a new mission.
It was a rough go for him for probably a year. I actually started doing equine massage therapy and taking lessons on the internet to learn how to deal with him and to help him. That Tat holds a really special place in my heart, and he is probably the star of the ranch.
The OTRP is run entirely by unpaid volunteers and relies heavily on the generosity of like-minded people. We invite you to visit the OTRP's website at otrp.info. A lot more on the horses there and how you can make a tax-deductible donation to help the OTRP.